Hey, it worked. There he is.
Welcome,
Good
welcome,
morning.
welcome. Morning, morning. How are you, sir? Well, afternoon for me. How are you, matey?
I am fantastic. So, good morning to all of you that are watching today. Most of you probably know I am Brad Varnell. This is the Real Infinite Crypto YouTube channel, and we've got Keith from Crypto Bullseye here to, probably give us a little bit of hopium. I think that a lot of us are wondering what in the world is going on. 113K Bitcoin. If you're paying attention to news outlets and social media, the sky is falling, the bull market's over, and Keith and I haven't had a chance to catch up for a little bit, so I can't guarantee what he's going to tell us, but in my opinion, he's going to tell us to pull up our panties and put our big boy pants on, and that we got nothing to worry about, that this is just a normal correction that happens inside of a bull market. But with that, before we get into that, Keith, the last time I saw you, my friend, you had about 9,900 subscribers, and over the last couple of weeks, while we haven't had a chance to be in touch, man, you broke 10,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, and I just wanted to give you a huge shout out and congratulate you on that. And I haven't looked at your numbers today, but I bet you, man, you probably shot up. You're probably at 11,000 by now. But
Well,
anyways,
not
man, I
quite
just wanted to say,
there. Not quite, but that's the next target. I suppose 20,000 should be the next target, but no, 10,329, and that was a long slog, but I'm so pleased to get there. And yeah, big thank you to everyone that helped me on the way there. To 10,000, I'm sure beyond, because I'm not stopping, Brad. I'm not stopping. But no, as far as Bitcoin's concerned, yeah, everybody's scared, aren't they? Everybody's really scared. And I'm just looking at the Bitcoin chart, actually on the 15-minute, 113,000. We've had a big drop today.
yep.
It's been a bit of a mixed day today, actually. Let me get back into the higher time frame. It's been a bit of a mixed bag today because
You want to
yeah,
add your chart so I can throw it up there?
let's do that.
In the
Let me just
meantime,
make
I've
sure I
got this
share it.
coin gecko pulled up here, so it's showing Bitcoin at 113,797, Ethereum all the way down to 4,198. I've noticed some of my trades that I have in play though are still, they're hanging in there. I've got a couple of 10x leverage trades that they're down, you know, 35%, but they still got a little bit of a little bit of ways to go before they're going to get liquidated. And considering that I think I put those trades in when Bitcoin was probably at about like a 117, I think it was 117 ish. I'm actually not that disappointed with the drawdowns that I've seen in the altcoin market. But let's get this over. And then, real quick, I want to let the chart know, or the chart. I want to let the community know, all of the chat know that we got to be out of here at about 40:45 after today. So we've got around 20-25 minutes to kind of get through the chart and really kind of talk about what the next moves might be. So we're not going to waste any time. So with that, Keith, back to you. And what are you seeing with Bitcoin?
Well, we're having a bit of a pullback on Bitcoin, but I mean, everybody's scared. The thing is, Brad, everybody buys pumps and everybody buys pumps. And one thing that I can see, and probably yourself as well, is the retailers starting to come back. And you look at my channel, your channel, and then collectively other channels, you could start seeing that the comments are more frequent. There's more people coming back. And you can see that there's more less experienced people actually coming into the field now. And as far as that's concerned, all we've had is a bit of a drawdown, a drawdown, and a drawdown. So when you get the downside, you get the slow grind. And the slow grind's painful because everybody expects it to go up and go up and go up. But bull markets aren't like that. You've got to come back and reclaim previous resistance to test a support. And sometimes that takes a lot longer than what people think. So that 117,000 that you mentioned, Brad, that was this shelf here. So we were on quite a strong support shelf on Bitcoin, and that's what we've just dropped. And our next support shelf on Bitcoin is 112,000 to the top and 110,000 to the downside. But ultimately, Brad, when is this invalidated? Firstly, we need to be scared at this point, 98,000 to 100,000. That's your 200 daily moving average. Even if we pull back and pull back and pull back all the way down and lose this support at 76,000, we could still remain bullish. Bitcoin can still bounce. Once we've got a confirmed bear market, you're talking taking out 74,713, and we're all the way at the moment at 113,000. So it looks like we've got a little bit of downside, but we collectively look at not just Bitcoin, the rest of the market, and exactly what's going on in the macro. And you touched on it earlier on as far as the news is concerned, because everybody's fearful. When everybody's fearful, people think that it's going to end, the bull market's going to end, we're not going to get an alt season, there's a big, massive disaster in the world. And ultimately, there's a negotiation going on in the meantime over the last couple of days, which is going to create volatility in the market. It's going to create uncertainty in the market. When there's uncertainty in the market, people don't understand which way to go, whether they should be buying, whether they should be selling. And that creates that inconsistency with pricing. It creates a little bit of a turn down until you get a resolution or a hint of a resolution at the end of it. So we're going through a bit of a stagnant phase with Bitcoin at the moment, but we can collectively look at a few different charts. Do you know what, mate? I know we've got only a little bit of time, but I just want to say a big hello to a couple of the guys: Roger the Alien, Lad Lewis, Bully Bassett, Crypto Flamingo, Vanish, Bully Bassett, you're always there with us, GTA. And I just wanted to say a quick hello to all the guys that are here today. So we'll quickly go over Ethereum next. And you can see what we talked about on my channel over the last couple of weeks is we'd had a bearish divergence on Ethereum. Things needed to cool off on Ethereum. We were overbought on the stochastic RSI as we were putting in a lower high on the RSI. So we were expecting a pullback, but we need to reclaim this area. We need to reclaim the big area that we were talking about probably a couple of weeks ago. 4,000, that was the big number, the 4,000. Now Ethereum's broke 4,000. It's gone all the way up to the top here, 4,791. It's pulling back to 4,190. And everybody's getting scared on Ethereum. So what's happened since? We're putting a top, we're coming down. Stochastics nearly oversold. We've got a support base here, 4,000 we want to reclaim. We've got this area here to fall back on between 3,828 and 3,708. So you've got strong support here. You've got strong buy orders that are going to be at these levels here, and you would expect that to be bought up, a new higher low, and then a continuation to the upside. But as we go through the risk curve, we've been talking about this risk curve, and the risk curve's actually happening now. We've been waiting for it to happen, but it's happening now. And I'd said, let me just show you quickly, because I put a couple of videos out on this. This was my last video as well. The Ethereum Bitcoin. So Ethereum Bitcoin, I'd said, half price Bitcoin. How can you get half price Bitcoin when Bitcoin was trading at the time at 106,000? And how can you get it for 53,000 or the equivalent of 53,000? And I said on my channel here, when Bitcoin against Ethereum was 0.02302 Satoshis, it said going through the risk curve, Ethereum is now going to be the least risky asset. We'd got an indication that Ethereum bottomed out here, put in a higher low. We'd expected a continuation. So the second least risky asset within the whole of the crypto market cap was Ethereum. At that time, made sense to me. This 0.04604 is going to be the exit point to get your half price Bitcoin. So by allocating Ethereum at that 0.02302 and selling the Ethereum at 0.04604 into Bitcoin, then that means that you've technically got Bitcoin for half price. That's nearly there. And as we go through the risk curve, you have to start going riskier to try and get those gains. So then you go through your Solanas, your Cardanas, your AVAXs, and all of those top layer ones. Then you go even further down and further down, but it's going to be shorter swings and it's going to be more volatile swings. And unfortunately, there's going to be lots of drawdowns on there, so it's going to be more difficult. So I just wanted to explain that was the second, that was the least risky way to get half price Bitcoin. Now you've got to go through Solana. You've got to double the Solana against Bitcoin pair for it to start getting exactly the same effect. But that's just a little thing I wanted to show you guys. I went a little bit off track there. But Ethereum, like I say, Ethereum, we need to come back. We need to reclaim the 4,000. That's a good thing. And this chart coincides here. As you can see, a bit of downturn. Just zoom in here. You can see this bit of downturn. You can see we've got a bit of wiggle room to come down, and we've got a bit of wiggle room to come down on the stochastic as well. So expect a little bit more downside and potentially a little bit more uncertainty. But Ethereum against Bitcoin, we've just looked at that. That looks good. That looks like it's going to put in a higher low. We can come all the way back down to 0.02 at 0.03271 Satoshis on that. That would reclaim the support level and then a continuation to the upside. But we've had a cool down because of a few things. Which one won?
It was all 5 of them. My wife came back in with coffee from Dutch Bros, and they just about ate her before she got to me. Thank you, babe.
You're welcome. Sorry, guys.
No problem. So yeah, this is the USDT. So you can see a bit of upside on USDT. This is a resistance point, and we needed further downside on here. But what we had is the opposite to the bearish divergence on Ethereum. We actually had a bullish divergence here on the USDT dominance. So we've had a bit of upside on USDT dominance, and that is because of the uncertainty that's been going on as far as the macro is concerned. So it does all make sense. We want to reject at this point. We're currently testing this point, which is 4.41%. Then we want a rejection to the downside, as well as a rejection on the Bitcoin dominance. So the Bitcoin dominance, we've had this big one leg to the downside. We've seen that that created a big surge as far as altcoins were concerned. Doesn't look too good now in the month, but last month, as far as that was concerned, you can see here, as we've got pulled back over the last month, that created a bit of uncertainty. We were stagnated now between the last week or so. That's creating uncertainty. So we're not getting much volume as far as altcoins are concerned. So what we want here is we want further downside. And what I've done is measured from the top here, all the way to the bottom here, the lower low, all the way to the lower high. And then we're expecting a continuation. And what we want is an ABC, so an equal measured move, which would take us all the way down here, 57%. So 57% equal measured move, clues look left. We've got a big bounce there at 57%. Sorry, 57% here. So you've got your shelf here at 57%. And then you've got your 1272 if we've got an extension. You can see how price reacted at the 1272 previously before. So expect those to be the big next bounce zones. But before we get a bounce from those to the upside, we've got to get the downside. And when we get the downside, that's going to create the altcoin surge. And there's one altcoin or two altcoins that I am interested in at the moment, Brad. And I'll just quickly go over them because I said this on the channel. It didn't do very good, this video, compared to other videos, and it's Illuvium. And the reason why I liked Illuvium is because all the different buy orders all matched up. And I explained to the community, when you've got a consistency of buy orders, you've got different traders trading different strategies with different indicators and different tools. When they all match together, that creates different buy orders, but a hell of a lot more buy orders. So what we've done is we've gone through from the swing low to the swing high. And this is our Fibonacci tool. And you've got the 78.6% traders here. So you've got your 78.6% traders. And we'd said that was one lot of traders that are trading the 78.6. And they're going to be putting their buy orders at this level, which is $15. $15 is a psychological round number. You've got new retail coming into the market that have just seen Illuvium pump. Managed to get this pump as well before it happened, 110% to the upside. So 110% to the upside. This is the bit that hurts, Brad. This to the downside, 36%. People buying here, they've lost 36%. And that's a slow grind. That took 1, 2, 3 candles. That took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 I can count. So that took 13 candles to the downside, 3 candles to the upside. You can see the slow grind and how it's developed and how it's meant to just grind people down and make them not believe. So you got your $15 psychological round number traders, the retail that are coming back, they're putting the buy orders in at the $15. And I explained before the reason why these psychological round numbers hold up is because the human brain, if you think of 1,000 people and you've got 1,000 people looking at a certain area and the range is between, say, $13 and $15, you're not going to get people, and we're looking for $15, sorry, $13 and $15. So you're looking for a range. People are not going to put in $14.77, $14.76, $14.74 as a consistency. The human mind thinks round numbers. So you've got more people collectively, the more people that are looking at this that are going to put it in on a psychological round number, which is $15 in this instance. So that's the second lot of traders, the retail that are coming in. You've got these guys here, the big 200 daily moving average. We've broken through like a hot knife through butter. We're coming back down and we need to reclaim this area because that's going to show that we're bullish. We've put in a higher low. We took out the 200 daily moving average. That's your retail indicator. And that's the third lot of traders. you've got the resistance support traders, which is, this was previous resistance here, resistance at around $15. Then once it flips support, you've got people that are interested here, your RS flip traders. Then you bring your indicators up. It can go on, it can go on. This is becoming oversold. So we're becoming oversold as we're putting in a higher low. Last time we were oversold here. This time we're oversold, putting in a higher low. So you've got your people looking at the stochastic, waiting for it to come oversold. You've got those type of traders. So when 5 lots of traders all come in at the same area, that creates a huge buy
So
and
what would your entry be on alluvium? And would you start off with like a 3x leverage, or would you be a little more bullish at this point?
I would start off with a lower leverage. The thing with this, Brad, you've got with alluvium, you've got just to the previous high, you've got 59% to the upside. So just as an example, you've got Bitcoin that might pull back 5%. You can put a 10x leverage on Bitcoin, it pulls back 5%. It doesn't hurt too much. So you could put a 10x leverage on Bitcoin, but these swings, when you're talking that kind of percentage, you don't actually need high leverage. And it's done it there. It's woke up there. It's hit 3 candles to the upside. We're pulling back, holding key levels. We've got all these different traders looking at this key entry here. And you know, one thing, Brad, with this is because you've got too many traders all looking at the same spot, is anybody going to front run that lot? And are all those buy orders going to get hit? And is that going to create a big, huge candle to the upside? And then all of those people's buy orders are not going to get hit. So from a spot perspective, this looks fabulous to me. And I'd said before on my channel, anywhere between 14.58 and 15.13, absolutely fantastic. But from a spot buy, now looks good to me. Not financial advice, of course, but from a trading
price correct right now, as of this moment, it's about $15.70.
Yeah. So what's 70 cents amongst friends?
Right.
But I mean, what I'm saying is from a protection perspective, Brad, this the big 200 daily moving average, the big daddy, you've got your 786, you've got your previous resistance to flip support. You've got all of this different confirmation here, which has given you your protection. It's giving you your protection zone below here, between $14 and $14.50. So for me, looking at that on, say, as an example, 3-4, just to the previous swing, that's going to make it, what do we say, 60%, 60, 120, 240%. So you don't need to actually go high leverage. You don't need to go high leverage when the swings are like this. You've got your protections in place. So once your protections are in place, you understand exactly what your maximum amount that you can lose is. Once you actually get a swing to the upside and you get a break of trend, it's not a very nice trend, that is it, Brad? Horrible looking trend. Let me just bring it in on the 4 hour, see if we can make it a little bit better. So this is your trend line.
Right. So let me ask you this. I wish we had more time today, but it is what it is. What do you think? So one of the things that stood out to me recently is that even with this dip, you can see here, Bitcoin is down. It's showing, 4.7% for 7 days. One of the things that stood out to me was normally if Bitcoin gets, beaten down by 5%, a lot of times you'll see the altcoins, getting beaten down by 10, 15, sometimes even 20%. But what I've noticed is, you've got BNB here that's actually up 2% over the last week. You've got Cardano up 8%, Chainlink up 4.7%. And then even if you look at some of the losers here, like you do have Stellar at 10%, but most of the other tokens, like if you look at, say, Avalanche here, 4.7%. So it's only down the same amount that Bitcoin is, not multiples. Another token, that we've been kind of looking at, Polkadot, 6%. So not significantly more than Bitcoin. Another token that I've got a trade in right now, like I was mentioning to you that, I've got some trades that, that I'm really not that worried about, because like Polygon here is one of those. I got in on a trade on Polygon, and even though Bitcoin's down 5%, we're got a 1% gain on Polygon. So I guess my question is, why are altcoins seemingly being very resilient to this drop? And how much longer can we expect that to be true? Like if Bitcoin does have another correction to the downside, at what point in time do you think that will really start to affect the altcoins?
I mean, if I could share this chart, there's a nice little chart that actually answers your question. And this is the total crypto market cap outside of the whole of the top 10. So all the blue chips, you exclude the blue chips. And then this is trading against Bitcoin. And this coincides exactly with what you've said, Brad. This chop over the last few days, this is, how long is this now? This chop here. 10 days. This chop over the last 10 days, you could see nothing's happened. So this is the high risk against Bitcoin. Bitcoin's dropping, high risk, like you said, isn't dropping as hard as what it would have usually previously dropped, because the interest's here, the volume's here, people are getting interested in it, retail's coming in. And then the news, as far as the news in the background's concerned, that's always going to create a bit of rockiness. But I think that certainly Jerome Powell's looking at a high probability of decreasing the interest rate during September. And I think that the build up to September, with that already being built in, is going to create a surge and confidence in the market that's going to create higher risk assets to run during the course of that. And I think the FOMC is towards the end of September. And I think that because the market's built in the rate cut, by the time that it hits September, I think that we're possibly going to have some kind of a negative reaction from that actually when he does drop, unless he drops a significant amount. But that's outside of our hands. We can only just look at what the charts are telling us at the moment. The charts are telling us Bitcoin's still putting in a higher low. Ethereum's coming back to retest 4,000. This, what you've just mentioned, tells a massive story, because the big altcoins outside of the top 10 collectively against Bitcoin aren't dropping hard. And guess what? It took out the 200 daily moving average, and it's holding the 200 daily moving average. This is high risk. Creating a bit of a pattern here. It's not quite an inverse head and shoulders because of this here. If we never had that, it would be an inverse head and shoulders, but these patterns tend to still play out in the same way. So if that happens, and this is just against Bitcoin as well, so against its USDT pair, it's going to be a lot more. That's a big move all the way up here, and that move is 20%. So 20% against its Bitcoin pair, that would send total 3 to new all-time highs. And that's the signal we've been waiting for. That's my confirmation of alt season. Everybody's saying we're in alt season. Yeah, alts need to rally to get up to previous highs or wherever it is that they need to go, because they're not all going to go to all-time highs. So ultimately, people aren't getting scared by what's going on outside of crypto, is what I'm saying. Bitcoin's pulling back. So what? It's putting in a higher low still putting in a higher low, still got all of this support to fall back on 101,000. It's still got the big 200 daily moving average, 100,000, psychological round number we talked about, 100,000. So if we drop this key level here at 110,000, we probably would start seeing a little bit of fear in the market and a little bit more downside to the altcoins. However, we're still holding this level. So while we're holding this level, we've still got confidence. But things like, just an example, Cardano, look really nice to me. You've had a breakout, you've had a retest, you've had a move to the upside. These things are looking nice to me at the moment. Dogecoin, had a breakout, taken out the 200 daily moving average, reclaim that, holding this level of support. So you can see that the altcoins are in a nice little position now. As Bitcoin's dropping down, they're holding up. So, I mean, the S&P 500, we've got a bit of a bearish divergence, I think, on there. Yeah, bearish divergence on the S&P 500. So that's slowing down with Bitcoin, But if we have a look, and I haven't done this yet, so if we just have a quick look at the Russell 2000, see, there's not much of a divergence. In fact, there's not a divergence there at all. Is the one? It's not even a divergence there at all. We've put in a higher high there. So when you think of Bitcoin, high risk, and then, low risk, and then you think of the S&P 500, low risk, they're putting in bearish divergences, but the high risk equivalent, i.e. total three, that is putting a bit of a bearish divergence in. But the Russell 2000 out of stocks isn't putting in a bearish divergence. That's putting in a high. So that's showing that there's strength within stocks, within high risk stocks, and that's going to catch up to the S&P, and that's going to start accelerating a lot more as Bitcoin dominance starts dropping down, and as people start coming out of the S&P into things like high risk, like things within the 2000. So it is part of the cycle, and we've been talking about it for such a long time, about the rotation, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and it's actually happening now as we speak. So we're finally getting to talk about it. We're finally seeing the rotation between Bitcoin into Ethereum. Now we're looking at other things. What people are going to go into next? Is it going to be Solana? AVAX looks nice to me. Cardano looks nice to me, and you can start seeing these layer ones move. If you look collectively, you can start seeing things running narrative already, and it's already layer ones that are looking good. So I'm quite excited. I'm all right as far as the pullback on Bitcoin's concerned. I'm all right as far as the pullback on Ethereum's concerned. Do like the look of Illuvium. Illuvium is high risk from a trading perspective. I like the look of that. That's something that I'm going to be interested in. And yeah, I'm not overly concerned, to be honest with you. Not yet. Not yet.
I love it, man, and I very much appreciate your input. I'm sorry, everybody, that we don't have a little bit more time today. As I mentioned on my last couple of streams, I've got a couple of new things going on in life, and my schedule is changing a little bit. So, Keith, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to start this live stream an hour earlier, maybe an hour later, or if I'm just going to keep it the same time, but have to maybe cut it off a little bit quicker than normal. So a few things are up in the air. But before we get you guys out of here, I want to do two things real fast. I want to, number one, want to share once again, most of you probably already know, but this is Keith here at Crypto Bullseye's channel. Let me throw this link here into the chat. This will hyperlink you right to his channel. So if you have not been checking out Keith's incredible content, please go check it out here. Crypto Bullseye. You can see here he's got all sorts of amazing videos that he's been putting out. He's got a video here on the SEI. I don't know if they pronounce that how they pronounce that, but SEI token. You know, he's got his. I really been wanting. I haven't had a chance to dive in and watch this whole video yet, but I really like the title. My $1,000 crypto portfolio starting today. I think for everybody watching, having an idea of what Keith would be throwing $1,000 into if he was starting his cryptocurrency journey today, that would be super valuable information. So I want everybody to go take a look. And then the second thing that I want to share with you guys is we have a new friend of the channel here, Mr. Crypto NFT Innovator. It doesn't look like it is published yet, but it's ready to go. He shared a video with me that he made about the Infinite Agape token. And, you know, he came in and joined the live stream for a quick minute. I don't know if he's still watching or not, but we're going to have it's about an 8.5 minute, you know, kind of a deep dive on the Infinite Agape token that's going to be getting published to his channel here very, very soon. So keep an eye out in the Telegram group and on our socials. As soon as it's live, we'll definitely be sharing that link with you so you guys can check that out. So lots of cool things happening, Keith. Lots of you know, things on the horizon that should be exciting.
What's that? Looking forward to watching that one, Brad.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
That one out. Crypto NFT Innovator. I'm going to give that a quick subscribe as well. Perfect.
It's cool. You know, as you notice, you know, we've got Ruade, who is, you know, been a part of the Infinite Agape project now right from the very, very, very beginning. In fact, we had a couple of Zoom calls before Infinite Agape launched, and he was on there and had some great ideas. And I didn't realize it, but he's connected with some pretty big projects. He's connected with a project called XPX, and you know, has a pretty big you know, crypto community, and he's really excited to be, you know, jumping on board and really promoting and helping the Infinite Agape project launch. So for all of you that, you know, that know about the Infinite Agape token, I'm excited for what's to come. If you don't know about the Infinite Agape token, we don't have a ton of time to talk about it here today, but believe me, just keep coming back to the channel and you will know more about the Infinite Agape token very soon. So with that, Keith, I'll let you say a couple of final words and we're going to get the heck out of here and enjoy the rest of our days.
Just a big thank you to everyone. Like I say, they hit 10,000 subscribers, and I know that I've thanked each and every single one of you, but just a big thank you again to you guys. I'm going to be absolutely smashing out the content whilst the people want it, whilst the market loves it, whilst we're making moves. It doesn't look like we're making moves to the upside at the moment because we're in a pullback, but pullbacks are preparation. I've got trades at the moment. I'm in a loss on those trades. I took profits on trades last week. I built my account to a 2x last week, Brad, and well, one of my accounts to a 2x last week. And the build in the long slog, and the long slog is a time for thinking of a strategy, ensuring that you apply that strategy, making sure that you take advantage of these long downturns, the long-winded downturns that exhaust everybody. Then the quick, like we mentioned earlier on, 1, 2, 3 days, that's the time to exit. That's the time to take profits. And then let the 12-day, 13-day, 14-day grind happen again. You prepare during that 13, 14-day grind, and then you take the 1, 2, 3. So don't worry about it, guys. As far as I'm concerned, we're still putting in, as far as the charts are concerned anyway, we're still putting in higher lows. I'm not too worried about the markets at the moment, and I'm expecting some kind of a pump at any point soon.
Awesome. Thank you again for being here. I look forward. Hopefully we can connect tomorrow morning, maybe about, the same time as we got on the live stream today, maybe around 9 o'clock in the morning, and got some exciting things that I'm looking forward to sharing with you.
Sounds great, mate. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Have an incredible day. God bless. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.
Take care. Bye.